Our relation to the goddess of the universe. September 1, 2014. Hello, Aster. Can you speak to the speculation concerning your name and how it relates to entities such as the goddess, Astarte? Aster. Yes. The function of a name is to signify something in sound waves, and this choice is also telling something about the frequency or vibration of the being named. This is a name I bear for the most part in this instance to commune with you, as from your perspective it is a necessity. Those who know me in other dimensions where this verbal signifier or sound isn't needed, would know me simply by my vibration. In the realm of senses that you currently occupy, at least consciously, there's also the sight for recognition purposes. The more subtle senses of smell and touch can also be utilized, but for the purposes of speech, there is the need for a name to signify and identify. Still, this name, and the vibration related to it, is related, as you say, to the goddess icon of Astarte. Though the modern distortion of this conceptual archetype is nowhere near what it started out as. The history here is not our mission, nor is the explanation of how there's been a concerted effort to malign and distort this archetype. This is a long story indeed, and one that's gone on for much longer than the rather short history of it on Gaia. It's actually spread much farther than this into what you would say is the cosmos, and what you would view as outer space. We would say that this archetypal icon makes for a popular name to select for some cultures and for some races as well. I'm not the only Aster, the same as you aren't the only Andrea. Still, I'm proud to bear this name and carry in my field the signature of the goddess of the universe that she represents. There are many names which carry her energy, and there are many, and many more individual entities which have carried her inside themselves and come into form with her as a primary force in their makeup. I'm such a one in my multiple nature. So, we are one that carries the goddess herself within. You already have become aware of this, and the fact that you've gone to the trouble of formally dedicating yourself as a pagan priestess, is evidence of your knowing this from early on in this incarnation. Yes. This makes sense to me. So, in a sense, we are also one with the goddess of the universe as well, is this not so? Aster. Yes, indeed, and this is a realization that can only happen when the programmed limits of linear thinking start to soften and dissolve. There's evidence of movement here when you can understand this relation and how intimate it truly is. There's much more to the connectivity of who we are and what this means than humanity has yet uncovered. This will take time and there's no hurry. Okay, so much for names. Can you tell me some more about my mission here and about the training I can barely remember now? Why do I remember you as a mentor and not as myself? I remember being in some sort of school or training program and then coming through space on a mission. That's really about it, except for a feeling of purpose and of determination. Aster. What you recall is correct. The form which you remember it in is less than complete, and this is because of the step down in consciousness you experienced in the birthing and getting seated into the body process. It has ever been so. This is why there's the multitude of hints laid out along the lifespan to help you to remember. The basic skill set you came in with makes you a candidate worthy of the mission here, and yet there's always the possibility for wandering off and ignoring the obvious. This is why there's a selection among the many who wish to come of those whose level of passion is high. Along with this is a love of challenge and adventure, and an ability to follow a puzzle to solution. Without these basic skills and leanings, it makes it very difficult for a being to come to such a convoluted place of beingness and find their way, even with intense and thorough training beforehand. So, regardless of the training, the skills inherent to our being is the most important aspect of why we are here. We have experience in many places related to this sort of mission, and yet, each placement is different and it requires the ability to hold to the principles of what is real and true in order for anything to transpire properly. This is the biggest challenge, as the programming on the levels of society, religion, education, politics, etc., which are designed, by intent, to distort what is obvious to begin with. An illustration of this would be the one where it took you many years of hard lessons to understand again how love is only possible when the power posturing is released. For a being like ourselves, which are, by our nature, powerful and mighty co-creators, this is a pitfall which is well known, and even with the intense training involved in bringing ourselves here to this time and space to play out our role in expressing the will of the Divine Mother Goddess, still it's been a great challenge. No matter how long or how winding the road, the only thing that matters is that the remembrance occurs. All unfolds in perfection, according to the plan of the Mother. She is the guiding force within and without, the living seed that comes to maturity in her own time. What this maturity looks like on different levels of awareness is ever expanding. With each expansion comes more responsibility, as to know more is to have more capacity for creating with awareness. We are moving with her, and through her grace, we are the conduits of her love. There is no other mission here, and the details of this are the simplest you can imagine. Find a way to remember who you are and who you are here representing. It is an expression of the will and love of the Mother, she who is the body of the universe. Farewell for now and come again soon. We attend you. Thank you and farewell for now. Channeled by Andrea Scully. AndreaStarOO.com